Bizarre Brain Comics. Oh, hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time I got just a little handful of comics to share with you here. Some interesting ones. Some of them are based on some classic novels. It's a few of my favorite ones. Now this is from Marvel Classics Comics, not to be confused with Classics Illustrated. This was sometime afterwards, and this is of course from Marvel Comics. And I didn't follow these that closely, but I got several ones that were of interest to me. Here I only have a few. I have a few others elsewhere. And there's some that I wish that I had gotten. For example, like Last of the Mohicans is one of my favorites. They did one of Last of the Mohicans, and they got the War of the Worlds here. And anyway, but they, for about maybe the first dozen or so issues, may have been less, I don't know. They were actually reprinting the material from a different publisher who had published these works as small paperback comics, paperback sized, for kids, from the same vein as Classics Illustrated and some other works. And but thereafter they were completely produced in-house with Marvel writers and artists. Now, the first one I have to show here, I don't even know what the first issue of these were. This is 52 two-page books, no ads. From I just looked at it. What did I say? 1975? 1976. 1976. Of course, is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Of course, based on the classic novel by Jules Verne, and of course, I got it because I love the book. I love that Jules Verne book. I love the Walt Disney movie, even though things are considerably different in the movie from the book, and it pretty much closely follows the story of the book. Some things are left out, but nothing big major is changed. This is okay. And this was adapted by Otto Binder. Remember him? Did a lot of science fiction author in his own right. Did a lot of comic book stuff. A lot of the Marvel family, Captain Marvel family, Shazam's at Fawcett, and some Batman stuff. A lot of science fiction stuff at DC, etc. Of course, it starts off with a splash page to get us interested. So, and the illustration, Romy Gamboa and Ernie Patricio. So either so it was probably originally done as but I would imagine either Filipino or some of the South American artists, which were common for some of the other publishers, and it follows along pretty good how the professor and his small group are lost overboard and picked up by Captain Nemo and the like, and of course has very caption and dialogue heavy, trying to maintain a lot of stuff here. And of course, here it is. Nemo is showing how the Nautilus works. Now, it's one thing that I like to point out is that a lot of people don't realize that the Nautilus was not a nuclear submarine as it was in the Walt Disney movie. He used chemicals from the seawater to produce electricity, which is possible, but would not be enough to provide for a ship. And it's just a really nice read. Has a little bit about the author, a lot of nice artwork. Enough of that. Then one of my total favorites. I just did some War of the Worlds. Well, here's some more War of the Worlds. This is issue 14. This would be for what, 77 or early 78. I've forgotten. I'll just. No, this is still 76. Okay. War of the Worlds. This is one that is completely done in-house. H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, one of my all-time favorite novels. With, written by Chris Claremont, Young Montano, and Dino Castrillo doing the art. Does a really nice job. Again, pretty much following, and just like in the book, you never actually know the name of the original artist. And one thing, of course, I like is that it is set in the proper time. That's one of the problems I've always had with the movies. I love the movie versions, but I would love to see a movie version of War of the Worlds that's actually set in around 1900. And all this is great artwork and it's adventure. Oh, Thunderchild being destroyed. And how I'm not entirely thrilled, but with the depiction of the Martians, but it is close enough, to the description to work. But that's cool. And here we have one I don't want to talk too much about because I plan on doing an episode in the next couple of weeks of this one. But here we have from the same series, issue 26 of an adaptation of the Iliad by Homer. And this is cool. And this, of course, the John looks like a John Buscema cover. And of course, this is all. It has some beautiful, beautiful artwork here. Elliot S. Maggin wrote it, did the adaptation of it. Elliot S. Maggin, who did so much Superman stuff. And Young Montano is the artist. Oh, some really great stuff. Fits right in with the sword and sorcery style. Well, because it basically is today would be a sword and sorcery story, and some really great stuff. I don't want to talk too much about that. But here we have one that is not Marvel Classics, and I think they did do a version of this for Marvel Classics, but I'm not sure. But it still kind of fits in because it is The Island of Dr. Moreau. But this is the adaptation of the 1976, 77. 1977, from the 1977 Samuel Z. Arkoff movie of The Island of Dr. Moreau, which starred Burt Lancaster and Michael York. And is a great, great movie, and they did a real good job. And, of course, this great cover by Gil Kane here. But Doug Munch wrote it, Larry Hama drew it, Jess Jodloman was the inker. It's some really nice stuff, and it is a great story. And this is one that goes far afield, fairly, just because it's movie adaptation, goes fairly far afield from the novel. It's closer to which was mostly about when I was trying to read the novel, I couldn't get through some of the descriptions, just because it's so horrendous. The description of how the creatures were made, which was more of surgery and stuff instead of some genetic manipulation as here. But it was a great movie, and this is a great comic adaptation of it. Now, something completely different. This is a couple of books here that are reprints from 2018. This is True Believers #1. What if Jane Foster, so it's what if Jane Foster had found the Hammer of Thor, covered by, looks like either John Buscema or Sal Buscema. I can't be sure here, but the interior art, it was written by Don Bluth, with art by Rick Hoberg. And this is from What If number 10, which would have been, I don't know what year. They didn't say what year. But it's different. And I got this. It was just a few years ago, and I think it's cool. I apparently had missed this issue when it was originally featured, probably 40 years ago, and it is cool. It's a fun read. All the What Ifs are fun reads. And this kind of ties into that last Thor movie. I forgot the name of it. Love and Thunder. Yeah, that was one. Ties into that. Some nice artwork. Good story. Then here, of course, another True Believers #1. This is from the Fantastic Four, from the all-powerful Super Skrull reprinting. What issue was it? I think it was issue 16 of, it said it here now, it's so small and far away I can't read it. But this is a reprint of Lee Kirby story, which introduced the Super Skrull. So it's Lee Kirby, so it's good and fun, trying to take over everything. And he imitated all of their powers, boom, as well as some of the others. And this was about the time that the Captain Marvel movie came out, which introduced the Skrulls to the movie audiences. And then we finish up with something completely different again. This is Kamandi Giant, 50-cent Giant, number 32. Kamandi, the last boy on Earth. This is, I forgot to see what year this was. 1975. This is still while Kirby was writing and drawing it, before he moved back, just shortly before he moved back to Marvel. It was a fun book. It's a giant because it has a full-length new story of Kamandi in the world post-disaster with the intelligent and evolved animals. But then in the back, as backup, was a reprinting the story from the first issue of Kamandi, from which was originally from, what was it, 73, I think, 72, 73, something like that, which shortly after Kirby went to DC, and I love that. And this is great because it's got the map showing the map of the world, Earth AD, after disaster, and that's a lot of fun. I love Kamandi. Going to have to do an episode on Kamandi. I'm thinking of doing an episode on this one. So that's what I had to share with you this time around. Some cool classic stuff of various natures. Some real classics. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below. What of these did you like best, if any? Let me know in the comments down below. And remember, comics are art.